there's a special kind of fear that only a comic book can create. It isn't the jump scare from a movie or the slow burn dread of a novel. It's the chilling, permanent image a comic panel can burn directly into your brain. A picture you can't unsee, a face that follows you into the dark. It's a unique horror that makes you afraid to turn the page, but even more terrified not to. Hook. Tonight, we're not just looking at scary stories. We're exploring 5 comics and manga that are engineered to give you nightmares. These are the tailies that will have you checking your closets, second-guessing the shadows in the corner of your room, and maybe, just maybe, sleeping with the lights on. We're ranking them by sheer terror, building to the one story so profoundly unsettling. It might just change how you see the world. From a town obsessed with a shape to an elementary school lost in a wasteland, these stories will haunt you. Trust me, you don't want to read these at night. Section 1, Number 5. Kicking off our countdown at number 5 is a story of pure biological revulsion from the undisputed king of horror manga, Junji Ito. We're talking about Gyo. The premise sounds almost ridiculous, which is right where Ito wants you. A young couple, Tadashi and Kori, are on vacation when they're suddenly accosted by a strange walking fish. It scurries across the floor on spindly metal legs, giving off a smell so foul it's called the death stench. And it's not just one fish. Soon, the entire island, and then all of Japan, is overrun by undead sea creatures, from small fish to great white sharks, all crawling on these grotesque biomechanical legs. But this is Junji Ito, so the real horror isn't just a shark climbing through your living room window. The nightmare truly begins when we find out what's powering these things. The legs run on a gas created by decomposition, a byproduct of a secret military experiment during World War II. The machines don't just carry dead things, they look for new hosts. And that includes people? What puts Gyu on this list is its focus on a kind of body horror that feels deeply violating. This isn't just about being eaten by a monster. It's about your own body being hijacked, inflated, and turned into a puppet for a parasitic machine. The story focuses on the horror of entry points tubes forcing their way into mouths and orifices, pumping the host full of gas until their body bloats and swells. Ito's artwork is relentlessly grim. He draws the death stench like it's a visible, tangible fog that chokes every single panel. The transformation of Kori, the main character's girlfriend, is one of the most disturbing sequences in all of horror manga. Her body swells, her skin discolors, and she is eventually strapped into a custom walking machine, her humanity stripped away until she's just another piece of the grotesque parade. Jew is a story that goes for pure physical revulsion. It's a relentless 2-volume assault on the senses that will make your skin crawl and your stomach turn. It isn't just scary. It's disgusting, and you'll carry that physical feeling with you long after you close the book. Section 2, Number 4. Coming in at number 4, we leave Japan and head to the quiet dread of a suburban American home. This is The Closet, a tight 3-issue story of psychological horror from writer James Tynion IV and artist Gavin Fullerton. On the surface, the story seems simple. A little boy named Jamie is terrified of the monster living in his bedroom closet. His parents, Tom and Maggie, are in the middle of a stressful move and a strained marriage, and they brush off his fears as a childish fantasy. They promise him that once they move, the monster will be left behind. But it turns out the monster doesn't stay with the closet. It follows them. The horror in the closet isn't about a creature that wants to eat you. It's about a monster that feeds on something way worse. Family neglect, unspoken anxieties, and the festering wounds of a broken home. The monster itself is a terrifying design. It's a pitch-black figure, the size of a child, with long, thin fingers and a horrifying, permanent grin of yellow teeth on an otherwise blank face. Gavin Fullerton's art is sparse and heavy with shadows, creating a deep sense of dread that makes the monster's appearances jarring and unforgettable. What makes this story so perfect for a sleepless night is how it blurs the line between a kid's nightmare and his parents' reality. The monster is a metaphor, a physical form of the family's trauma. Tom, the father, is running from his mistakes, hoping a new city will fix his marriage and his own personal demons. But his refusal to face his problems is exactly what gives the monster its power. The more he ignores the damage he is causing, the more real and threatening the creature becomes to his son. This isn't a story you can just write off as fantasy. It's a look at how adult problems can create very real monsters for children. The horror feels grounded and uncomfortably real. We watch the family fall apart through quiet, tense conversations and angry looks. Tinyin builds a story where the family drama is just as terrifying as the thing in the dark. The scariest part of the closet is realizing the monster isn't just in Jamie's room. It's in the car with them. It's in the silence between his parents, and it's born from a very adult kind of horror. It will make you think about the ghosts we create for the people we love. And that's a thought that's hard to shake in the middle of the night. Section 3, Number 3. For our number 3 spot, we're going to the isolated, frozen north, a place where the sun sets and doesn't come back for a month. Welcome to Barrow, Alaska, the setting for the brutal vampire siege, 30 Days of Night. Created by writer Steve Niles and artist Ben Templesmith, this 2002 miniseries threw out the rulebook on vampires. Forget the romantic, brooding type. The vampires in 30 Days of Night are feral, shark-like predators. They're ancient, monstrously strong, and they speak in a guttural, alien language. Templesmith's art is a chaotic storm of scratchy lines, muted colors, and sudden, shocking bursts of red. His vampires aren't human. They are nightmares made real, with solid black eyes and mouths full of razor-sharp teeth. The concept is brilliant and terrifyingly simple. A pack of vampires, led by the ancient Viscenti, comes to the remote town of Barrow right as the 30-day polar night begins. With no sun to worry about, and the town completely cut off, the vampires are free to enjoy an uninterrupted month-long feast. The town's residents, led by Sheriff Eben Ullman and his wife Stella, are thrown into a desperate, claustrophobic fight for survival. What makes this story so effective late at night is how raw and primal it is. This is not a complex psychological game. It's a story about being hunted. It is about the terror of total isolation and the dread of an enemy that is both smart and completely merciless. The pacing is frantic. Niles throws you right into the chaos and forces you to watch as this small community is systematically taken apart. The horror is bloody and visceral. The snowy landscape of Barrow becomes a canvas for carnage, with the clean white stained red again and again. The story hits on a fundamental fear, being trapped in the dark with something that wants to kill you. There's no escape. The sun isn't coming to save you. There's only the endless night and the creatures that own it. The fight for survival gives the story a desperate emotional core, but it offers very little comfort against such overwhelming odds. 30 Days of Night is a brutal, blood-soaked nightmare that feels immediate and intense. Reading it is like being locked in a freezer with a pack of wolves, and the chilling tension it builds is guaranteed to leave you feeling exposed and vulnerable. Section 4, Number 2. Prepare yourself, because we are now entering the territory of pure, unfiltered psychological collapse. Our number 2 pick is a legendary horror manga that has influenced countless creators, including Junji Ito himself. This is the 1972 masterpiece from Kazuo Umezu, The Drifting Classroom. The story starts with a massive earthquake. In an instant, Yamato Elementary School vanishes from modern-day Japan. When the dust settles, the students and the few teachers with them are in a barren, post-apocalyptic wasteland. No buildings, no adults, no hope of rescue. It's just over 800 children, alone in a dead world. And that's where the real horror begins. It's not just about the monsters outside, though there are plenty, from giant insects to prehistoric beasts. The real horror of the drifting classroom is watching society completely fall apart. The teachers quickly go mad, turning on each other, leaving the children to fend for themselves. And they do not handle it well. This is Lord of the Flies, turned up to 11. Umezu gives us an unflinching look at the darkness inside human nature when all the rules disappear. The children, led by a 6th grader named Sho Takamatsu, have to deal with starvation, paranoia, and power struggles that turn violent and deadly. Friends turn on each other. Bullies become warlords. The story explores the absolute depths of despair, forcing these kids to make impossible choices just to see another day. Umezu's art style is essential to the terror. He focuses on wild, exaggerated facial expressions, capturing the raw panic and madness in the children's eyes. The horror isn't about the gore. It's about the psychological torment you can see on their faces. You watch their innocence shatter in real time. The story is a relentless spiral down into chaos. The kids form a new government and even make Sho's mother a goddess to keep up morale. But these small attempts at civilization are constantly crushed by the brutal reality of their world. The drifting classroom is terrifying because it argues that the scariest monster is us. It's a long, sprawling epic of survival horror that is emotionally exhausting and psychologically scarring. It asks the question, what would you do to survive if everything was taken from you? And the answers it gives will leave you deeply, deeply disturbed. Reading this at night is like inviting the dread of human collapse right into your own quiet home. Section 5, Number 1, and here we are, the number 1 spot. The horror comic most likely to leave a permanent scar on your psyche. It's a story that takes a simple shape and turns it into a source of cosmic, inescapable dread. We are talking about Junji Ito's masterpiece, Uzumaki. Uzumaki means spiral, and that's exactly what this story is about. Set in the small, isolated town of Karuzu-cho, the story follows a high school student, Kirigoshima, and her boyfriend, Shuchi Sato. Their lives, and the lives of everyone in town, begin to fall apart when the town becomes cursed by the supernatural form of the spiral. This isn't a normal curse. There's no ghost to fight, no demon to exorcise. The spiral is a phenomenon, an infection that spreads through the town, distorting reality and twisting the minds and bodies of everyone there. Ito starts with small, weird events. Shuchi's father becomes obsessed with anything that has a spiral pattern, staring at snail shells for hours, until his obsession ends with him contorting his own body into a spiral. From there, the curse escalates in a series of connected chapters of pure body horror and decay. A classmate's hair curls into hypnotic, aggressive spirals with a mind of their own. People slowly transform into giant, human-sized snails. A lighthouse emits a spiraling light that incinerates anyone who gets too close. Ito's genius is his ability to take this abstract idea and make it real in the most grotesque and imaginative ways. His art is incredibly detailed, creating scenes of body horror that are both beautiful and absolutely sickening. What makes Uzumaki the number 1 scariest story to read at night is its theme of absolute cosmic doom. You can't fight the spiral. You can't understand it. It is a force of nature, a cosmic horror in the truest Lovecraftian sense, and the characters are completely powerless against it. As the story goes on, the town itself begins to warp. Buildings twist, the landscape contorts, and the sky is plagued by whirlwinds, cutting Karuzu-cho off from the rest of the world. Reading Uzumaki feels like watching reality itself slowly descend into a madness there's no coming back from. The horror isn't just in the grotesque transformations. It's in the complete loss of control and the slow, grinding destruction of humanity. It's a story that makes you feel small and helpless. After you read it, you'll start seeing spirals everywhere, in your drink, in plants, in the clouds, and for a second, you'll feel the same chilling dread It fills every single page of this unforgettable book. Uzumaki isn't just a story. It's an experience, and it's one that will spiral its way into your nightmares and never, ever leave. CTA, and that's our countdown. 5 stories guaranteed to follow you into the dark. But the world of horror comics is huge. What did we miss? What are the comics that kept you up at night? Let us know in the comments below. I want to hear your most terrifying recommendations. Conclusion: if you enjoyed this trip into terror and want more explorations of the best and most frightening comics out there, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We have a lot more nightmares to share with you. Thanks for watching. Now try to get some sleep. You're going to need it.